Nice opening shot, huh? How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Zoo EDventures from the North Carolina Zoo. Hope your Saturday and Sunday was incredible. Amazing rain here lately, huh? It was crazy, but today, this is the perfect zoo day. I'm sorry, but it is. It's the perfect zoo day today. So we are at a really special location. Wendy, show them where we're at. Fantastic. So we're going. You all right?
Yeah, I almost fell.
You tripped over. You tripped over a little bit of nothing. Check this out, guys. We are at the Giraffe Deck. Listen. Education Director to Keeper Cordier.
We're sending them.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dennis. Jerking clear. We're sending them. Let's find who them is.
I'm so excited.
I'm Steve, by the way. Wendy's behind the camera. This is such a cool location. This is the North Carolina Zoo's Giraffe Deck. Now, a little bit of premise here. The Giraffe Deck, when we open, we don't have a date yet. We're working on it, and it'll be a phased opening when we do open. When we do open, the Giraffe Deck won't be open to start with.
I see neck. I see neck.
I see several necks. And I see a very short neck.
Oh, I do too. Okay.
I see a very short neck.
While they're back there, Steve, you need to prepare for that giraffe.
So, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Wendy, I need help. I have a green.
Oh, the green.
And I have red, white, and blue.
I think green was very March. Let's go with red, white, and blue.
So if you guys out there, if you can hear us and know what we're talking about, green, red, white, and blue. Wendy says red, white, and blue.
I say red, white, and blue.
All right, here we go.
We have a very special announcement that requires us to dress for a very special announcement.
Dun, 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 dun. All right,
So excited.
so how do I look? How do I look? Don't tell them. And you tell me. They can't.
Well, they
And
can.
are we on already?
They can see
This
you,
isn't
Steve. This is live.
This wasn't practice?
No. Oh, they're getting closer.
This is so exciting. Guys, special announcement from the North Carolina Zoo to you all. We have a new giraffe. And you guys get to meet her for the first time. Wendy and I are meeting her for the first time. The smallest giraffe out there. Drum roll. Drums. Meet Amelia. She's in the middle, coming up. This is Amelia, guys. We'll talk about the other big ones too. Give her some love, guys. Give Amelia some love. This big guy coming, this is Jack. Here comes Jack. But Amelia, first time anybody gets to see her, guys. Now, our Zog keepers, zebra, ostrich, and giraffe keepers, have worked really, really hard to get Amelia in with the herd. Amelia came to us from the Riverbanks Zoo. So thank you, Riverbanks. Jack's like, hey, wait, there's people up there?
Yeah.
Why are there people here? So Amelia came from the Riverbanks Zoo, and she came on a breeding recommendation. Remember that program called the SSP? That Species Survival Plan? Well, that's where she came from. So she's coming here through that program. That little girl is about 11 feet tall. I mean, she's about 11 feet tall already. And she's just a hair over 1 year old. She was born April 2nd of 2019. So that looks like, is that Turbo coming over to say hi to her there?
Yeah.
That was Turbo coming over to say hi. Here comes Amelia. Eee. So it's our first time getting to see her, guys. Give her some love. That's so cool.
She's so little.
She's so little.
Which is weird to say about something that's
That's
11 feet tall.
She's a foot. Oh, shh. She's a foot taller than a basketball hoop. Here comes Turbo. Turbo's a non-breeding male. Turbo's our oldest giraffe, coming in at 12 right now. He'll be 13 later in the fall. Can you see those spots on the side of Turbo's neck? How good are you, Wendy? Can you see those spots on Turbo's neck? They look like little vampire bites. So we use their spots to tell who's who. Each giraffe, hi Amelia, each giraffe has their own spot pattern. They're as distinct as your fingerprints are to you.
She's not quite sure.
Not quite sure what to do. That was awesome though that she came up at all. Great job, guys. Great job behaving over there. So she came up to visit us. Now, we're not allowed to feed from the Giraffe Deck right now. The Giraffe Deck will not be open when the zoo opens. In our phased opening, it happens a little bit later on. So the Giraffe Deck itself will not be open. And one of the reasons for that is, and we've talked about it before, those of you who have tuned in the past, you've heard us talk about the COVID requirements. We're not supposed to get too close to our animals, especially without masks. So even Wendy and I are not going to be feeding today. So shout out to the keepers, just in general shout out to the keepers here at the North Carolina Zoo. The North Carolina Zoo closed, but still caring, making a big impact on the animals that they care for daily. Being a zookeeper is a 365-day, this year, 366-day-a-week job, 366 days a year. I think I'm saying that right. All weather, all conditions, our keepers do amazing work. And I'll tell you what, for those digital guests that have been coming back and forth, those virtual folks that have come to visit us several times, you guys give the keepers a shout out too, because without them, this program, these Zoo Adventures would have been nowhere near as successful or as interesting. Amelia coming up here. Look at this beautiful little girl. Again, Amelia, 2 years old. I'm sorry, 1 year old. Just turned 1 on the 2nd of April. Look at that. And look how well she's getting along. Shout out to the Zog keepers. Great job, guys. Everybody seems to be getting along very, very well. The giraffe closest to you is Turbo, 12 years old. Further away, that's Jack. Jack's also 12, but he just turned 12. Turbo will be turning 13 later in the year. You might notice a little bit different in the patterns. So Turbo and Amelia are reticulated giraffe. There's different subspecies of giraffe, different types of giraffe. So Turbo and Amelia, and then Leah. Leah's another female on the habitat. Oh, we'll turn that down a little bit. Our reticulated giraffe, and so is Leah. She's another female on habitat. Jack is a northern giraffe. Again, those are just subspecies. So giraffe works. Subspecies being a type of giraffe. The southern white rhino is a type of rhino, and there's black rhinos, for example. Those little bumps on the top of their heads, those are called ossicones. Fancy science word alert. Ossicones. Uh-oh. Turbo's like, mine. They're little bony nubs covered in hair. If you got really good eyes, you notice that Jack has a few more. Oops, Turbo's like, how do I get over here? Thanks for coming, Amelia. We'll talk to you later, I'm sure, I hope. So male giraffe use those ossicones in battles for dominance. And they actually neck with them. They hit their head into the neck of an opposing male. Now, they're not territorial. They're very social. There's no real hierarchy or dominance level in giraffe world. But during breeding season, males will fight for dominance. And they slam their heads into the neck of an opponent. They slam the necks over. That's the two girls. And the winner of those necking battles has breeding rights for that female or females in the area. The larger female here is Leah. Leah's 10 years old. We asked the keepers, and Kelly Davis helped us out a lot with this. As kind of who's who, what's going on here? They said Leah is very curious, but also very cautious. She called her sassy. Love the relationships our keepers have with their animals, with the animals under their care. You can see Leah's spots are a little bit more kind of compact, close together, especially on her hind end, towards her rump, towards the legs. Lifespan, you're looking at 25 or 30 years. So these guys are all middle-aged. How's that for a term? These are all kind of middle-aged.
Me too.
You too? I'm not. Coming back to the males here. Jack is what they call intact. Jack is a breeder male. So the idea, hopefully, is that maybe Jack and Amelia will produce offspring. And remember, we don't make those calls here at the North Carolina Zoo. The Association of Zoos and Aquariums and the SSP, the Species Survival Plan, make those decisions, make those calls. And if you're just now tuning in, Amelia, who we're just introducing today to you all, first time ever that she's been out in quote unquote public. She's been on Habitat before, but kind of in public. Now we are closed, but we're talking to you guys right now. our virtual guests, our digital guests. It's her first time out. She's from Riverbanks again, which is exciting. Thanks to Riverbanks. These two male giraffe, they push in at about, Turbo is about 1,900 pounds, and Jack's over 1 ton. Turbo just shy of a ton, Jack over a ton. Jack's also our tallest giraffe, standing, get this, 16 feet. If he was standing on the, when you're at the deck, he can look in your eye. So you're standing at the deck to here is about 16 feet. Oh, it's crazy. Do you show them how far we are off the ground?
No. Those of you that are afraid of heights, close your eyes for a minute.
This is me, by the way. Ah! Whoa! If you've been here before, if you've been on the Giraffe Deck before, give us a shout, give us a heart, give us a like. Let's see who's been on the Giraffe Deck before. It's kind of neat to see who's been here and who's been doing what.
Stephanie said, I like tall men. Me too.
He is a handsome man.
Me too, Stephanie.
He is a handsome fella. Both of these guys are handsome. Oh, look at all that. Thank you guys so much. I hope you've enjoyed the deck when you've had the opportunity. Remember, it won't be open to start straight away, but it will be opening soon as all of the COVID begins to settle down. And through the zoo's phased opening, we're not open yet, but when we begin that phased opening, the deck will be one of those things that does open up. Look at all those hearts and thank you guys so very much. It's been kind of awesome. I didn't know you guys did it before, so it's kind of neat. Every once in a while I sneak behind to see what's going on. I love seeing all those wonderful comments. Yeah, Wendy, you got a question from the group?
Yeah, Cynthia has a good question. She's asking, what kind of food are they given on the deck when people are able to feed them?
Oh, fantastic. When they're on the deck, we're giving them romaine lettuce. Head after head after head of romaine lettuce. So that's what they get from the deck. What they're being fed out there right now is browse. That's a pretty important term at the North Carolina Zoo and all zoos across the board. Browse are tree limbs and branches that have been cut that are covered with leaves. That's really good and nutritious food for all the animals. Here at the zoo, some of their favorite is sweet gum. They love sweet gum. You guys know the ones with little prickly balls that are sweet gum balls? So that looks like that is sweet gum, I think. So sweet gum's a favorite. They also get alfalfa hay. They'll get carrots and apples from time to time. But browse is really important. And a lot of the animals here get browse, get those tree branches covered in leaves be fed out. But on the deck, when you're at the deck, participating in the Giraffe Deck feeding opportunities, that's romaine lettuce. They love that too. That's really high on the list. And you think that you want to do that because you want the animals to come. You want them to, one, enjoy themselves, and two, come for the experience, right? So you provide them something that they might enjoy.
I bet people at home also don't know we actually have a browse program at the zoo through our horticulture department.
That's an awesome point, Wendy. Thank you for that. Yeah, so the zoo actually grows a lot of its own food here at the zoo for many of the animals. And we have browse gardens throughout the zoo's 500 plus acres. So crazy people say that sometimes. So the zoo sits on a couple thousand acres, and within that we do have some browse gardens that have been planted for animals like the giraffe. And you could, almost all the herbivores are getting some sort of browse. Even our Galapagos tortoises, do you guys remember the Galapagos tortoises? Long time ago now that we did those guys. They actually get some browse too, so we get a couple of things. So a lot of those kind of animals. I keep hearing a squeaking noise. Giraffes aren't totally silent. They can make some noises, not very often, not very loud. And I hear a squeak, and it's the browse rubbing on the thing. I'm like, that can't be the giraffe.
They must have some kind of pellets in their
and that's
basket.
That's the last part of their diet. They get a pelletized food that's full of good nutrients and things like that for them. These ungainly guys, they get almost all the water from the food that they eat. But it's a challenge to get some water. If you stand 16 feet tall, if you're a really big male, you're standing 18, 19, maybe even 20 feet tall. Water's all the way down there. So you know how to get their water? I bet some of you do. Hey kids, you know how to get their water? Spread your legs way apart, all four of them. And you bend down, and you bend down, and you bend down, and you bend down, and you get a drink, and then you stand up. So, when the animal's down like that though, that's dangerous. If you're a giraffe, that's very vulnerable. I can't see, it takes me a minute to get back up. So in that position, they're very vulnerable.
He's like, I don't know what you just did, but that freaked me out, human.
Sorry, giraffe. That's Turbo over here and Jack over here. So you're in. Hi. I'm not sure what's happening. A little stare down with the giraffe.
I feel like he's judging you.
I think he is judging you. They did say that Jack is judging.
Well, yeah, he's totally. You're getting judged over both shoulders right now.
Yay! So back to drinking. When you're down like drinking water, you're very vulnerable. And then when I stand up, how many of you ever had a head rush? Wendy's saying yes, she's had a head rush before. When you stand up very quickly and the blood drains from your head, imagine if you're standing up 16 feet tall. Imagine that. All that blood coming back down, leaving your head, making you dizzy. Like you kind of, whoa, what's going on? These guys have really cool adaptations in their neck. So they don't get a head rush. When they stand up, the blood flow is still going. As a matter of fact, in their blood vessels, the blood vessels are very elastic, so they can kind of squeeze down and let go. And there's valves in their blood vessels of their neck to kind of help with that blood pressure, to make sure the blood pressure stays solid in there. Everybody up here, you got Amelia and Leah. I don't know what you guys did out there in digital world, but thank you for whatever it was you did, because they're all hanging out with us today. I think the keepers had a little bit to do with that by setting us up for success with the browse. Again, this is Amelia. This is the main reason. This is why I'm wearing my lovely tie. Amelia, this is the first time we've shared Amelia with anybody. This is the announcement for Amelia being at the North Carolina Zoo. We'll reiterate a little bit about Amelia since she came up to visit. Jack's like, hey, who are you? Amelia, born April 2nd of 2019. So she's just over a year old, about 11 feet tall, is here on a breeding recommendation, and she came from Riverbanks Zoo in South Carolina. Amelia. It's almost like she knew her name, but I'm sure she didn't because she doesn't know me, nor Wendy at this point. These guys can hit speeds of 35 miles an hour running. They look kind of awkward when they're running. If you ever get a chance to look at a giraffe run, it is like, what? Is that really what they're doing? But they can hit speeds of 35 miles an hour. Yeah.
How long has Amelia been at the zoo?
Oh, how long has she been here? You know what? I'm going to have to beg off a little bit on that. I believe she came in late winter.
Yeah.
I believe it was late winter. So she's been here. This is June. This cannot be June. Guys, is this really June?
When you just said it was June, I was like, no.
Is this really June 1st? So she's been here 3 or 4 months. I'm not 100% sure exactly, but about 3 or 4 months. Sorry about that. But 3 or 4 months. Yep. This is so cool.
I know.
Got some fun biofacts to share with you as well.
Someone said she's so dainty for being 11 feet.
Right.
And I totally agree, because...
Great point. Check this out. What's that? I'll give you a hint. We have 7 of them. The giraffe has 7 of them as well. Some people say it looks like a little bit like an angel. But this is the vertebra of a giraffe. In that big old neck, they have 7 of these. You and I also have 7.
That's as big as your head.
Right? We have 7, so does the giraffe. That giraffe's neck may be 600 pounds. Does it grow? Of course. You saw Amelia. This is a small one. This is from a much younger giraffe. Jack in front, Turbo following. Oh, on this side you can see Turbo's other mark. Can you see Turbo's other mark, Wendy? You saw the 2 kind of spots on the right hand side of his neck look like vampire bites. We think that mark looks a little bit like a bat.
That's what I was gonna say. But it's just because I love bats.
But you do love bats.
I might be seeing something.
And you're a little biased.
Yeah.
On Bat World. Some other really cool, amazing big things on giraffe. Their heart, 2 feet long. Can you imagine a 2 foot long heart?
Whoa.
Heart may weigh 25 pounds. Their heart. They got a big heart, love. Their lungs, also tremendous capacity in their lungs. Hi, Turbo. Hey, Turbo.
He's just making sure we don't have food, I think.
I think exactly what do you guys think? I think he's waiting. Where's the food? Where's the romaine lettuce? There's some really good food at the bottom of that branch. They've done a good job with the top
That's
part of it.
way down there, though.
It'll reach all the way down there. Their lungs, about 8. Ooh, hi guys, about 8 times the size of ours. Crazy big. Lungs can hold 12 gallons of air. Right? Can you imagine 12 milk jugs? 12-gallon jugs of milk. Look at, he's on our beach. Ooh, 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 I did success, I did it. I'm so proud of myself. I did a good thing.
He's like, why are you watching me?
What? Let's see if he does it again. Can you reach up there, Jack?
Everyone pay attention to his tongue. Oh, I got an itch. Were you jealous?
I can't make the sound. This is the length of a giraffe's tongue. Giraffe's tongue is 18 inches long. Do you see him reach up with his tongue to grab those branches? It's covered in a really viscous, a really thick saliva. It's almost slimy in touch. That's important because some of the things they eat are very thorny. Acacia bushes, acacia trees have really long, sharp thorns. So that big, thick saliva, when I reach this out and grab around and pull the leaves into my mouth, that protects my tongue from being poked by the thorns. And the color is really important. The color is really important. And you saw, when he reached it up, it's more purplish. Which is as good as we can get with purple in our world. This is felt, by the way. Please don't ask if this is real. No. That'd be kind of yucky. That's felt. But it's purple, it's dark. Why? Why have a dark tongue? You saw a dark tongue in a polar bear, and that was because their skin was black. What am I different here? I wonder why their tongue is dark colored in giraffe world. So their skin's not black. Can you reach that one? Well, if you're sticking your tongue out all the time, or for like you and me, if we have our arms out all the time and we don't put sunscreen on, what might happen to our arms and legs? If we don't put sunscreen on our arms and legs, we might get sunburned. So with a giraffe sticking that tongue out all the time, there's an assumption, a theory, that it's so it doesn't get sunburned. How weird is that? Look at them taking advantage of more food supplies over here.
So fun to watch how far they can reach. Each one has a little bit different reach than the other.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have put on an amazing show. I have a couple other really cool things I want to share with you. One is their tail. This is the hair of from their tail.
Yeah, we did have a few questions about how long their tail was.
Oh, the tail might be 8 feet long. Just the tail. And here's the hair. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see it against my... What if I pull a little tighter?
Yeah.
Can you see that, guys? The hair, it feels like... What's a good way to describe it?
Is it
maybe like weed whacker wire?
Yeah, I was gonna say weed whack.
That's kind of what it's like. It feels like weed whacker wire. And you can see it's pretty thick.
And the thickness of it too.
Yeah. And they use it, they swish it.
Like that.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack. And when they swish it back and forth, they're using it like a whisk. They're moving flies off, getting other animals, other pests off of their bodies. People of Alaska, you can tell I'm from. People of Africa will use this as well. They might use it in brooms. So kind of up-purposing, repurposing. They'll use it in brooms. They might use it in jewelry to make rings, necklaces. So they use the giraffe hair for a lot of different purposes in Africa. So we have a baby. Let's say we have a baby. Let's say Amelia comes in, everything's good, everything's wonderful. Amelia is standing to give birth. She's been pregnant for now this is not true. She's not pregnant. We don't know this yet. Nothing is happening. This is when a female is pregnant. Females are pregnant for 15 months.
Can you say that again, Steve?
I would be happy to because I'm a male. Females are pregnant for 15 months.
Oh,
right?
Those poor
giraffes.
Little
They're
ladies.
not elephants. Elephants are even longer than that, but it's 15 months. They give birth standing up. Now think about this for a second. The giraffe's legs are 5 feet tall. They give birth standing up. That means the calf, when born, falls to the ground. Right? The calf falls to the ground. And when it hits the ground, it kind of bursts out of the sack that it's in as well. And Turbo's like, no more baby talk.
He's like, I'm a boy.
I'm a boy. I don't hear this. And when they hit the ground, they also take that very first deep breath. As you might imagine, hitting the ground from a 5 foot, 6 foot tall fall. Gee, Mom, thanks for saying hi. That's insane.
Colby, age 4, has a question if they ever have more than one baby at a time.
Hey, Colby. That's a great question, Colby. Thank you for asking. No, they almost always. Now, can I say never? I don't know that I can say never. But I'm going to tell you that the vast majority of their births are single births, are single children. One calf, one giraffe born at a time. I would say that twins would be a crazy exception. Great question, Colby. Thank you. And again, we haven't talked about her much. This is Leah in the middle. Turbo here. Leah. The big tall guy in the back is Jack. And announcing for the first time at North Carolina Zoo, that's Amelia. Just over 1 year old. From Riverbanks. I hope you've seen that donation box. If you had a chance to throw some money, that would be awesome. Helping us get through these tough COVID times. Helping with animal care and other important aspects of the North Carolina Zoo.
Which is great because someone just asked how many people might be visiting the zoo on a day like this time of year.
Oh my gosh. On a day like today, we would be pushing 5,000 or 6,000 people.
On a Monday.
On a Monday,
very
5,000 or
easily.
6,000 people. On a weekend day in the summer, we would be pushing, could be 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 people. During spring break, we didn't really talk about this much, but that's our busiest part of the year. And of course, we were closed, as were so many other places, during this remarkable time. There are times during spring break where we might get 12,000 or 13,000 people.
I've had a 15,000 day when I was a keeper.
Yeah. So yeah, all that, and of course that money, those people are not going to be able to get those kind of numbers back. So any help that you guys are able to provide is amazing, and we truly thank you so much because it's a challenge for everybody at this time. Giraffe are going through a tough time right now. Their status is vulnerable in the wild, but going down. They're vulnerable. They're not quite endangered, so they're vulnerable of becoming endangered. There's a risk of becoming endangered. But their population is down about 40% over the past handful of years. So the population is going down, unfortunately. Habitat loss and poaching, believe it or not, is a big loss for these guys, a big deal. So they're part of a program called SAFE. Through the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, and the North Carolina Zoo participates in the SAFE program for giraffe. And SAFE stands for, that's a perfect acronym. It stands for Saving Animals from Extinction. SAFE. What a great acronym, huh? And the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, which the North Carolina Zoo is part of, our accrediting body, is part of that SAFE program. Saving animals from extinction, with over $1 million already being shared in trying to help with the prevention of the extinction of the giraffe. They're classified as vulnerable right now, but their population, unfortunately, is being ravaged by habitat loss and poaching. And North Carolina Zoo, again, very proud to be part of the AZA's SAFE program, Saving Animals from Extinction, and the giraffe being one of those. And there's many other of those SAFE programs the zoo is part of. All right, let's share what we got.
I was going to tell them a few things they can see in the camera right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Way over to the left, you can see there's some caution tape. That is a visual cue for, I'm assuming, Amelia, because she is new to this habitat, where she cannot go, whether it's where the turf might drop off, or there's something over there. So the keepers have put up a visual barrier for her to say, hey, you shouldn't go over here.
Kind of like the flags in the in the other things.
Yeah, like my dog has an invisible fence, and when we trained him or her on the invisible fence, we had those orange flags as a cue for us and for her. You can see there's a sand pile over here. That's some enrichment. If they would like to lay down and cover themselves in sand, they can. There's it looks like they have some other food in a feed basket up here.
I bet that's the alfalfa hay.
Yeah, they've got alfalfa in there. So there's enrichment that we may not see as enrichment, like the sand pile. That is enriching.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. In a lot of the habitats at the North Carolina Zoo, you see all kinds of really cool things that you go, yeah, it's just part of the habitat. No, there's a reason for it. The climbing structure at Chimp, by the way. Oh, little hint of what might be coming this week. Sorry, shouldn't have done that. Nikki, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Craftastic time.
I have not enough fingers.
She had to do one to represent each.
Right? That's Nikki for you. We have Jack, because he's the biggest. We have Turbo. We have Leah. And, are you kidding me? Nikki Peterson. Nikki! Are you kidding me? Can you get that without
Tiny Amelia.
Tiny Amelia. And that might be almost a scale.
So these are just clothespins. And any kind of paper you have at home, if you have some that's already patterned, great. If you don't, you can draw your own patterns.
How cool is that?
And then she also added a few pipe cleaners and some googly eyes. If you don't have any googly eyes, you can just draw them.
How cool is that? And of course, here's the entire North Carolina Zoo herd of giraffe. That's really fun. And you can do all kinds. Can you imagine the little games you can play, having little animals getting together, reaching up for food, put a little tongue in there. Remember, 18-inch long tongue. Love it. I'm going to put these down.
It looks like they just put up the link to the craft for you guys right here in the comments. So you don't even have to go look for it.
Yep. As always, shout out to the guys behind the camera answering questions. I think Leslie is back there today. Nikki's probably there. Linda, I think. Bob's probably there. Beth is probably back there answering questions.
Kathy's there.
Kathy's answering questions from you guys. So, is that a cool thing, guys? Is that neat to have those people answering questions as they go through? You guys seeing the answers pop up as quick as they can? You guys enjoy that? And then some of us go back on later on. You might have seen Wendy and I go back on a little bit later on. We try to answer some of your questions too, or thank you guys for the amazing comments you guys give us all the time. It's overwhelming, to be honest, how kind you guys are with your comments to us coming back. They do not go unnoticed. They are truly well received, and we can't thank you enough. It's one of the things that keeps Wendy and I going at these tough times. So we do truly appreciate all the wonderful comments that you give us, Wendy and I, as well as the park itself. You give the shout outs to the keepers. All that is really, really important. I think that because we get comments from the keepers, it's so nice that they see you guys watching as well. So we can't thank you enough for participating in these Zoo Adventures with us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 o'clock. Well, I think that wraps it up for today. The giraffe came up. How cool was that? Thumbs up for the giraffes, huh? They came up, they did their thing. How about a thumb up for the keepers for setting us up with the browse?
Definitely.
Huge. And then everything else the keepers have done for us. All that enrichment opportunities, letting you guys see the animals. And that's one of the comments you give us all the time. I've never seen the animals do X, Y, or Z. Thank you so much to the keepers for putting it out there for us, for you guys to be able to experience. All right, so from the North Carolina Zoo, from Steve, Wendy behind the camera, we do truly appreciate you guys coming and joining us today for our Zoo Adventure, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 10 o'clock. We try to be with you live each one of those days. Stay safe. Come back Wednesday. It'll be we're not monkeying around. We are not monkeying around on Wednesday.
Your joke is chimply cheesy.
Guys, have a great Monday, Tuesday. We'll see you Wednesday. Stay safe. Bye-bye.